Hi everyone. I am going to do a collective reading today. I've been just kind of like blah the last few days, or just just the last couple of days actually. And so to get out of my head, I would like to read for just what's going on in our world. Hopefully this strikes a chord with some people. Ooh, Justice, number 8. What a beautiful card. This reminds me, I saw an ad for a movie based on, I think it's Mother Mary and not Mary Magdalene, and it's coming out on Netflix I think today, and so I did treat myself with Netflix for this month, so I think I'm gonna watch that. And this is the energy that I think of when I think of the women, a lot of the women in the biblical stories, at least the ones that I've heard. I've probably only really heard of the more popular stories, but I don't know, it's like, it's very, regardless of age and what the story is or how it's been told to us, it's like this is the energy. It's very like strong, it's very like face forward. It's like I don't see a lot of choice in all of these like scriptural stories, and not just in the Bible, I mean like stories worldwide. And I don't know, I really don't like equating being stripped of your humanity and then coming out the other end stronger, quote unquote, because it's like, no one needs to do that to prove their strength. But yeah, this is kind of how I see a lot of those stories. So anyways, and with justice, I think it's just, I believe, at least here, what it's representing is that sense of, it's almost like knowing when to recognize when something is just feelings, for instance, or if it's just like a resentment, like you're holding on to something, chewing on it, and it's giving you zero, like it happened 20 years ago, and you know, it's like giving you, it's like an energy suck. It's already like a sunken cost. You're not getting any return from it. You know, so differentiating that kind of rumination from an actual like thing where it's like something you've done recently and, ooh, I feel a little bad. And you've been chewing on it a little bit, and there's actually a way that you can address it. That's what I think, at least that's what's striking me right now. And I've been thinking about it because I feel like, you know, if it's like with family of origin, or if it's just close friends, or a workplace that you've been in for 20 years, or whatever it is, or like children, extended relatives, a friend of a friend, in-laws. Anyways, I guess the list could go on and on, but I think that like when it's a relationship that has a complicated history on all sides, and it's not necessarily an energy drain, but it's just like, you know, a family bond, or like a cousin that you've known for a long time. And you know, it's like all those past wrongs are really hard to lay to bed because you see them a lot. And especially if you're getting older, or if they're older than you, and you see them maybe physically deteriorating, or there's like not great things happening in their lives, you feel bad because of the way that you are maybe mad at them for something they did recently. You know, I think that's really hard to differentiate. And I think what that card is saying is, all things equal, when you're at a point when it's like exhausting and you're like treating yourself poorly, it's maybe worth it to like switch off and eat your Subway meatball sub with some Dr. Pepper and look forward to a movie. And maybe you can get some reprieve. Although all knowing that it's hard for anyone to do that. Ace of Knives. Ooh, knowledge. So again, this is the Ace of Wands. Sorry, the Ace of Swords. Oh gosh, Ace of Swords, duh, knowledge. So I really love this, and I really love that this is a feminine deck. And yeah, I just think that this is a great time to use all parts of the sword, all parts of the energy of the sword. So rely on your intellect. Don't let anyone tell you that you haven't earned your experience and that your experience shouldn't impact the way that you use your knowledge. Knowledge comes in, of course, we know, in so many different forms. It can be informed by emotions. It can be informed by past experiences. It can be informed by your intuition. So all of that. Also, I would say, of course, that idea of the double-edged sword. It's hard not to use it against yourself, but also just like, you know, I would say, especially now, it's important to hold on to your intellect, like hold on to the resources that you have and use them. I think it's more pertinent now than ever to not give people excuses to be derogatory towards you or the people that you care about, or if you're uncomfortable, like if it comes to misogyny or race or homophobia or socioeconomic stuff or whatever it is. And, you know, say it, like use your knowledge. And I don't want to say that it can be used as a weapon, but it can be powerful when smart people, when people who have taken a step back and have done a lot of the self-work are able to then speak intelligently, or at least from experience, on these issues that are very real these days, more so than before, I would say. The third card, ooh, the Maiden of Shells. Okay, let me make sure I get this straight. The Maiden is the Page of Pentacles. Yes, Page of Pentacles, and the Liberator. I kind of like how she's looking to the side. Yeah. And it has those two circles there, like the black outlines. So I think for me, this speaks to just where we're at as in the world. Like there's so many people who are not shutting up anymore, like in terms of like, whereas before people were, like it was just not very popular to like be real about the impact of structures in Western countries, but also structures in Eastern countries, just what it's done to over half of the world's population, what it's allowed, all the atrocities to happen for women and girls and all kinds of maligned groups, and even like men, you know, and boys. Just it's allowed to the structures have allowed many groups of people voiceless suffering that we have no idea about, but we're seeing a lot of the repercussions of to this day. I think every period of time has that. So I'm not saying that it's exclusive to our time now, But I think that because we do have so many resources and because information sharing and experience sharing is so quick these days, that the voices that just weren't heard before are now being heard, because a lot of people are saying, well, I have that experience. I have that experience. You know, so the liberation for me is, the liberator comes in many forms. It's through us talking to one another. It's through a more defined way of what you want your country to be, of what you want your culture to be. And the definition of culture and country and a sense of like national pride and community pride is it's changing very, very, very quickly. It has changed, especially for younger countries like the United States. I'm sure it's like changing in every country, but you know, it's like the definition is just that largely the influence is European, but Europe is made of so many different languages and cultures, and you know, like it's not a monolith, just like Africa isn't a monolith, or India, or you know, South America. It's like, you know, so it's like almost uniquely an American culture that's been influenced by, the American culture includes all of us. So I think it's like the liberator is all these things. It's like the technology, it's our access to one another, it's people being now safe enough to say the things that they weren't even able to say maybe even 10 years ago. It's all kinds of people, because we're getting access to even like people like me, like, not that I'm some like unique whatever person, but I've been through my fair share of things that I haven't been able to see if other people like me. I didn't see anyone going through things like that. And already for someone who's kind of reticent about talking about things I was experiencing, not now as much, but like when I was younger, you know, it made me feel like there was something wrong, and it made me feel like I'm the one that had to fix it. And I didn't know my ass from my elbow. And, you know, I think things had to happen the way they did. But I think that if there was someone like me that I could see that looked like me and had some sort of similar experience that I could at least write an email to, it would have made a big difference. I think, maybe not. I mean, I don't know. But there is something to say about just that connection. So it's like the liberator is like access to people who aren't highlighted in your culture. Like even in Indian culture, it's when it like leaves our borders, it's like not even, it's like usually one part of the country that's represented, the food from one part of the country. Even in India, like a lot of people from India don't know my state where like my parents come from, like in India, which I guess that's another topic. Anyway, so it's like, you know, it's like freedom to be ourselves, like freedom to like talk about our different lives. Like I didn't have kids, I didn't get, you know, I haven't been married yet, you know, all those things. Like it would have been like, even again, like we have access to different people who are leading different lives, who might have the first half of life and the second half of life. Like not a lot of us are doing the physical part of the Maiden, mother crone, you know, which is fine, but you know, we have to look at those things energetically. And anyway, so we're coming to know that the liberator is within ourselves as well. So it can be resources like technology, people who are usually on the sidelines speaking up. It's safer to do that these days. And just within, like the liberator is within. And yeah, and it's a very youthful energy, but I think that it's also it's not even youthful energy, it's a vital energy. It's like life-giving. Vital meaning like not necessary. Vital meaning like the core of what makes all of us human, and yeah, in like the most exciting way. Anyways, I spoke a lot more than I thought I was going to, but I hope all of y'all are doing well. And I will talk to you soon.